Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond the Frame. Thanks for joining us. Dottie, how you doing over there?
Hey, Jay, I'm good. How are you? I see
I'm
you're still stuck in Louisville.
I'm still in Louisville, so you know. I didn't want to leave. The view was too nice.
Yeah, it really was. You know, Jay, I am so excited that we got to see so many of our friends. You know, being away from Bowl Expo last year, it just left a void. And
It
coming
did.
back in this year was just great. Getting those hugs, and I was clean. I'm fully vaccinated, so I had my bracelet.
I had my green bracelet on. Yeah. I
on.
feel like nobody even looked at them. They were like, just come here. You know, they didn't care. It was so nice to see people, just people in mass, people in general, be able to stand there and have a conversation with someone. And I don't know, it felt good to be together. And I was so surprised at how busy our booth was from, like, it seemed like the minute the doors opened until they were blinking the lights, like, get on out of here. There was still just dozens of people all the time. And it wasn't just our booth. You know, I went to all, our competitors' booths, our other people around us booths. There was good traffic there at Bowl Expo, and it was really nice to see. People were in the right mindset. They were there to learn. They were there to see what they could transform their bowling center with, how they could affect their customers, how they could make maybe more money, more profit, but provide a better experience at the end of the day. And there were so many. When I did get to run to the boys' room or grab a drink or something, I tried to take a different route so I could at least see some of the vendors and get a couple snacks along the way. And shout out to the queso providers, because that was amazing. They had white queso with the chips, and it was so good.
So Jay, it really was. And we had an opportunity to bring a lot of people. We actually went, for those of you that weren't there last week, we were on the road, and Jay and I tried to bring a little bit of Bowl Expo into your computers.
I'll say this, we had a grandiose plan, and when you're there, you kind of forget how much time you have. And we had some upload issues some days where we couldn't upload the videos fast enough. So we ended up with what we ended up with, but I'm telling you, it was a lot of content that we kept throwing. I felt like we were just throwing new stuff out at people.
And the really interesting thing is, Jay, I went back and just started kind of looking through to see, did people take advantage of us going on the road? And we reached a little over 8,400 people.
Nice.
And our videos have been viewed around 4,900 times. So
beautiful.
That tells me that our viewers were with us and they were enjoying Bowl Expo through us. Yes. One of the really inspirational things that I brought home was, it is without a doubt so nice to see that bowling is back. And one of the things that we had been talking about here on Beyond the Frame is that, we had been saying when bowling comes back, it's going to be really, really strong. And we had so many people that supported that mindset and shared with us that their business is doing really well for the most part. There were a couple that were struggling because of the time of the year it is and their demographic, but for the most part, bowling is definitely is back, and was very well received. The community supported them. They're coming back. And even more interesting is the fact that our centers are seeing brand new faces, people they've never seen in their centers before. To me, that is a marketer's dream come true. I mean, how much fun can you have with that, knowing you have a canvas that you now can paint this beautiful picture, and you can start developing these one-time customers into loyal customers. I mean, I think that's just so exciting.
It is exciting. The other exciting point to be made is that, we saw some new products that we've released and that we've seen the industry, showing off at Bowl Expo. So that was it's always good to see that, because it makes your brain go, whoa, how can I take advantage of that? Does that work for my business model? Could my customers, would they enjoy this? Would it be an enhancement to their guest experience? And those are things that you always have to have on your plate. If you're not making your customer experience just a little bit better every time you step outside your comfort zone, then you really probably need to think about it differently. So
Yeah.
being able to go to a trade show and getting firsthand experience with these vendors and these
Yeah.
products is invaluable, I think. And one of the common themes that we learned there is, wow, what was the most popular thing in our booth that you'd have to say?
Well, golly, there
I
were
mean, there was
several,
one
but
thing that you couldn't get near.
the longest line was the
The
kiosk.
kiosk, absolutely.
And Jay, the interesting thing is we talked to hundreds and hundreds of people on the trade show floor and elsewhere. And one of the most common things that people were complaining about was that they were having trouble with staffing. Business
Staffing.
was great. They enjoyed having the community.
Well, not only were the people complaining about it, but what did we experience at this unfortunate, it was bad for them. They weren't ready for us. They couldn't get enough employees. The hospitality staff wasn't there. The food service staff wasn't there. We really had not a grand experience at this beautiful facility. Like, this facility is amazing. Like that whole bar on the third floor there, the bridge bar they call it, that overlooks the thing. When that closes down at 10 o'clock with 300 people in the bar and they're telling you we're closed, that's not the right message you send to your customers. Now, I understand they had to do what they had to do, and they were struggling to get by. So as a customer service provider ourselves, we are giving them the break that they desperately need, and we're willing to put up with a little bit of, it's okay, we get it, we understand, we're in the industry too, we get this. So, but that can't happen very long. Like, they might get 1 or 2 weeks of that, but they need to figure that out. If you have these problems at your bowling center, you're not going to get 6 months to figure this stuff out, people. You're going to need to find solutions that are going to take care of your customers. And that's why I say the kiosk was one of the most popular things, is because people look at that and they go, you know what, maybe that could be part of my solution to finding good quality and numerous, front desk staff. I could have less front desk staff that will handle it more efficiently, but then there's people that are going to want to just take care of themselves. If it's as simple, I want to come in and get a lane and get some stuff, that kiosk serves that purpose beautifully, and it never calls in sick, and it upsells perfectly every time. So there's so much benefit to this automation that we're seeing within our industry that you cannot ignore it.
Well, it was really refreshing to know that, customers were coming in and they were sharing with us some of the challenges that they were having. And I mean, immediately I could think of how they could solve those problems. And especially, in a bowling center, if you don't have your machine working properly, you're not in business.
Right,
And if you don't have a
if the machine
mechanic,
doesn't go up and down, you don't got bowling.
that's exactly right. And there are so many centers that are struggling with trying to find qualified mechanics for their machines. And, even less experienced mechanics for their machines.
Right, your
Those
pin
are,
chasers, your B mechanics, your C mechanics,
um,
all those.
and to know that there is a solution to that is
There's
already,
and it
you
might
know,
work for your business model. Sure, it might not be for your business model, but the beautiful thing about the solution with Edge String, which is what we're talking about, is that it's not a all or nothing approach for some facilities. What we're finding is we have facilities that have, robust league play, but they also do really good with casual, open, and corporate and group events. So they oftentimes would have a VIP area that league is rarely in. So why not at least upgrade those lanes to the Edge String, get the benefits of that on that part of the business that doesn't necessarily care about, oh, it's certified, oh, a pin string knocked this thing over and I don't think it's fair. Those are valid concerns by any bowler, but are they necessary when it comes to the casual play or the non-certified play? I think what you find that those people that are coming in for this type of experience, and even the people coming in for competitive play, let's not get this wrong, they have such a good bowling experience on Edge String that They don't mind that it's different because there are already differences that happen from machine to machine, lane to lane, building to building, structure to structure, however it may be, you know, flat gutters, kickbacks, phenolic decks, wood decks, whatever. Those all equate to different pin action. So
Yeah.
you can already answer some of that. But if I have a facility today where I have, let's say, you know, 8 VIP and say 24 regular, and I hold my league and tournament play mostly on this, I'm probably converting that because the dollars I'm saving on upkeep, the ability for everybody on my staff pretty much to be able to handle any kind of stop, and then the frequency of the frames per stop is blows my mind. Imagine going 2 weeks and you get one tangle in a league in 2 weeks time. That's crazy good. I mean, that's really, really compelling to me as a bowler, as a customer, to say, oh, I don't have to call in for this deadwood, off spot, re-rack, this, that. That doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
So, you
And
know,
you
there's
know,
some,
Jay, when I was the cameraman for you,
yes,
when you were interviewing
I talked
Neil
with Neil about it.
Pennington
Yep.
on the machines, and I have to tell you that I was so excited because as I'm looking, you know, in the machines and listening to how these machines work, the only thing I could keep thinking was, this is what I needed when I was in the center because I mastered every other job in that bowling center except the mechanic.
Right. I
And
could
with
fix
that,
like
I
very
can
few
tell you,
stops myself.
with edge string, I can
Yeah.
master being a
Yeah.
mechanic. So I can fill in any place that I need to be in a
Dottie's
bowling.
available if you need her this weekend, by the way. She'll take on
There
a
you
shift or
go.
two.
There you
Reach
go.
out.
But
What are some
definitely
other
exciting.
What are some other highlights that you found? First of all, the Jeff Foxworthy, the Brunswick session that Jeff Foxworthy was sponsored by. I went to that, and he is just you know what you're getting with Jeff, and he is like real. He points out these things in life that are just so true. So I appreciated that. That was such a fun session to be at, and to see the awards that people were getting for their continued hard work within the industry, and they're being recognized for it. It's quite emotional for many of them. I know I would probably be a mess if I had to get up there and receive some kind of award of that nature too. And the other thing, how about our Bowl Expo, our Club Expo party at the end? I'll be honest with you. I said, oh, we're going to Churchill Downs. We're going to, you know, have some food and we're going to see a horse race or two, maybe if we're lucky. I didn't know what to expect. Holy moly, when we got there and we went up to the Millionaires Club and the food, we finally had some real good food, and it was hot and those potatoes were so good. And then the horse racing, to be there and watch that live and be able to bet on it and have some fun, that was so fun. Like, it was just amazing. So I say that was one of the best, you know, highlights that I had for the week. That and seeing people, of course.
Yes. And you know, Jay, it really was. It's so nice to, we know that bowling is a very social sport. We're a family. We are a community. And despite the fact that we went an entire year not seeing one another, missing Bowl Expo last year, people just picked up right where they left off.
They did, didn't they?
And it was so nice to have everybody back together, and more so to listen to the conversations that we were hearing, and hearing proprietor speaking with proprietor and them sharing their challenges, their solutions, their successes. And all the walls were down. There was
Yeah.
no reservation about what they're sharing. Everybody genuinely was there to communicate and to, you know, to share anything and everything that they could to help their fellow proprietors and people in this industry. And that really did warm my heart to see that firsthand throughout both days of the trade show, and really just in the halls and everywhere else that you were, as you would see people kind of, you know, gather together.
And so then, you know, that brings me to the third part of the equation. You know, we had the trade show, we had the the networking functions, the fun things to do. But there was also the educational sessions that were put on. And I got to tell you, I went to Brian Kaplan's, and as a matter of fact, I have his card right here, right? Wow. There was 120 something people there. Let me tell you, you talk about getting information that you don't readily get your hands on normally, because who gets to talk to somebody from Google? Like, that's really hard. So to get an insider's view is to say, for somebody to sit down and say, look, I understand your businesses. Like, I understand this model. And let me tell you, these are the 5 things I want you to go and take care of tomorrow, because I guarantee you 99% of you aren't taking care of them the way you could be taking care of them, right? You can maximize your SEO rankings and better your search ability, all these things. And he lists these items out, and he gives you step-by-step instructions as to what to go do and how to fix whatever maybe not the best. That alone was super valuable. If you just do what he said to do, you're gonna pay for your whole Bowl Expo from that. Promise, right? Now, my other favorite thing, which I forgot to even mention, is this Bowl Expo is different than, we'll say IAPA. IAPA is more of an industry trade show for the entertainment side, but Bowl Expo really covers both consumer products and capital investment. So we're there because you can buy lanes from us, you can buy ball returns, you can buy computers, you can buy everything, right? Brunswick's there differently. US Bowling's there, Storm's there. So you have ball companies, you have consumer products that don't show up at some of these other industry shows. And it's nice to see the staff, the bowling staff, all of our friends that represent all these beautiful companies that are all in this together. We're all friends, like we're just people, right? And that is what I love, because nobody cares what brand you have on your shirt at that point in time. You're there because you're all part of the industry and you're all supporting one another. That doesn't happen in a lot of other industries, people. It really doesn't. And for me, I feel like our industry does an amazing job of that.
And Jay, I think just our Beyond the Frame group that we started back at the beginning of the pandemic.
That's our whole philosophy.
Absolutely. And just to make sure that everybody understands, we started this group at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But just because we are out of the pandemic and back on the road does not mean that this group is going to go away. And in fact, we are only, I believe, 11 people away from reaching that magic 1,000, which has been my goal all along.
For a couple of months now. Yeah.
So I'm
lately,
really
though, she's been going, we're close to 1,000. We're going to get 1,000.
I'm not so sure that when I see that 1,000, I might not just go live like immediately, like, oh my gosh, we're 1,000. Just because I'm very goal oriented, and this has been my goal all along. So folks, if you're listening and you have friends or family or colleagues or pets or anybody else,
not pets, no,
a Facebook account, because Jay and I have a Facebook cat account.
Yes, we do.
Anyway,
we have to test things somehow, Dottie.
Sign them up. Now, I'm not so sure. Maybe we need to add our cat to our Facebook group. In all seriousness, please share what we're doing here on Beyond the Frame, because we have a really good second half of 2021 planned for you guys. We're going to continue. We're going to be more active. We're going to get you guys more involved, and we're going to continue helping you every step of the way get where you.
And we're having some of your favorite guests back on, so you know who they are. I'm not going to say anything else. We'll just let it be a surprise when it happens.
Yes, Jay. I mean, everything is starting to come together, and we've got some really exciting stuff ahead of us, and we're not going to clue you in on what it is, because you got to keep watching us.
Got to keep watching, yeah.
So again, we appreciate you going along with us at Bowl Expo this year. We hope that you enjoyed allowing us to bring it to you as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Jay and I had a blast. It was a great week. We enjoyed one another, and we enjoyed communicating with all the people that came by and said hello and introduced themselves. It's always nice to be able to see that person in face to face, and then when you see them following us and viewing us on our Beyond the Frame Live, you know exactly who that is.
That's right. So we can put a face to the name, and we've had conversations with you, and it works out really well. Well, I gotta say, this was one of the best bowl expos I've been to. Even minus some of the service issues we had in the city because they couldn't get people to work. I get it, but I still enjoyed this bowl expo immensely for the content, for the networking ability, for the resources that you have access to while you're there. Beautiful. Good job, BPAA.
Absolutely. Hats off to BPAA. And you know, Jay, when speaking of the service problems there at the hotel, I think that everybody was very forgiving of that.
For sure.
Because they're in the same shoes.
Yep.
And it's nice to see that it's not just at your bowling center.
It's not just the bowling industry. It's called
yeah. So you know you're in good company.
For sure.
And people are forgiving as long as you're genuine and you're trying and you're doing the very best that you can to deliver the best experience possible. People understand that.
Yep. Yep.
For sure.
Well, I apologize for anybody I didn't open up the comments today. Normally I'll watch them, but I forgot to open them up.
Well, if you want, leave us a comment. We will answer after the show.
Afterwards, yeah.
Live. And anything that we missed that you want to share about your experience at Bowl Expo. I know yesterday or day before, I had to share that one of my least favorite parts of my experience was the snake that I had to follow. And I about had heart failure. So Jay just
she had to follow it. She had to get to the building, and that person was going the same place she was going.
Everywhere we went, that snake went. So I was starting to get the heebie-jeebies. But anyway,
Can I just say Kyle Troop is so stupidly amazing. He's a talented bowler. Don't get me wrong. He's just one of the best. But he is such a good person and such a good sport about everything. Oh my God, he made me cry laughing. That picture that you see online, wait till you see the video that comes. That's just a still from the video. Oh, that's going to be a surprise real soon.
Oh, can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Well, Jay, I hope that our viewers have enjoyed this little recap of Bowl Expo, and keep watching, viewers, because as I said, we're not going to let you know exactly what is next, but you won't want to miss it. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. So on behalf of
enjoy your 4th of July weekend before I forget to say that.
Yes, I can't believe it's already here. Where did 2021 go? I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's going to be Christmas before we know it. Well, guys, thank y'all very much for tuning in today. And on behalf of myself, my colleague, Jay Nephew, and all of us at Cubica AMF, thanks for supporting us and thanks for joining us on Beyond the Frame Live. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Bye-bye.